The holidays are upon us, and this is cause for celebration for some of us. Yet there are those of us who are challenged by the holidays. Maybe we feel overwhelmed by the friction that seem to surface when we're with a mixed bunch of family members who may vary extremely in their personalities. And maybe we get confronted by their inauthentic selves running the show. Some examples of some inauthentic ways of being are being bossy, being selfish, being anxious, being withdrawn, being uncooperative, being argumentative, and being difficult. Now, if you can relate to where I'm going with this, you are in the right place for discovering solutions that really work. So you can transform your holiday from surviving to thriving. So go ahead, show your support by clicking the subscription button, and let's get started. Welcome all you powerful manifestors to this special holiday episode. I'm manifestation coach Sterling Mire. Now, we've got the holidays, so we got to take a look at what are the top secrets to ensure that you and everyone else is having a magical holiday together. So the first thing is to really be ready to be related with the people that you're there with and intentionally out to cause something extraordinary with them. Now, we can have all the dinners and we can have all the decorations and gift giving and receiving, but really, what's at the heart of a great holiday? No matter how great the food was or how beautiful the decorations were, what makes or break a holiday is the relationships that we have with people and whether we enjoy the people or not. Obviously, extremely important. That's the heart. So what we really want is to focus on how to truly have extraordinary relationships with people we're with, whoever we're spending the holidays with. Now, you may ask yourself, how do you do that when you don't even want to go? I had that experience myself once at a birthday party. I was invited someplace, rather obligated to go, just because of all the different circumstances. This was a place I really didn't want to go to, okay? So here's what I resolved for myself. As I was going there, I said, okay, you're going to have a better time than you think you can have. And then I rang the doorbell, walked in the door with that commitment in place, like really, okay, it's happening, it's on. And when I walked in the door, just having committed to have a better time than I thought I ever could, I ended up meeting new people that were instrumental and played an important role in my future. I mean, it was that great. It really was. I think every time that we go someplace, we have a preconceived notion of how good it's going to be. We have a preconceived notion of how enjoyable it's going to be. So the first thing would be to just get committed to you're going to have a better time than you think you're going to have. And then walk in the door looking for the opportunity to do just that. And if you walk in the door looking for the opportunity to have a better time than you think you're going to have, guess what? I think you'll find a lot of ways to do just that. And my clients often ask me what to do when someone says something to you that makes you mad, but you don't want to ruin the holiday for everyone. Now, there are actually 3 things that you could do, but there's only one of them that really works. Now, one thing you could do is argue, right? I mean, you could. Somebody says something that makes you mad, and you just want to, you just can hardly stand it. You just so want to let them know what they said was wrong, and you can come back with your very best answer that really proves how wrong they are. Except guess what? You'll end up in an argument, and then they have to defend themselves. And then you have to defend yourself. Then they have to defend themselves. Okay, so we know where that one goes. So that doesn't work. It's not an option. Another thing people often try is to not say anything. Just try to grit your teeth and grin and bear it. But you really are holding on to it, and you still let it shape you. Like whatever they said really does ruin your day, because that's all you're thinking about, all you're stewing about. And even though you're not responding, it's totally shaping you. You are succumbing to it. And that doesn't work either, because your day's still ruined. Now, there's a third thing you can do, which is, and it sounds real simple, but it really is profound. It's just to let it go by. Let it go. Sometimes I imagine being a bullfighter where you just like what you do with the bull, you just don't argue with it, right? Yeah, you don't lay down and let it run over you. You step out of the way, okay? You just let things go by. Same thing in martial arts. I think sometimes we think we have to deal with everything that people say. But people say things they don't even mean. People say things they don't even intend to be upsetting. And a lot of it, especially around the holidays, and I think this is all the time actually, but especially around the holidays, let some of it go by. Just let it go by. Step out of the way. And then stay right there in the conversation and just committed to what you're committed to causing in terms of your friendship and your relationship with that person. Now, if somebody says something that's really irritating you, right, and you let it go by, how do you not let that fester? You simply have to relate to it for what it is. It's just something they said. One of the things that always makes something worse is not what they say, but what we have made it mean. So there's a difference between what somebody says and then what we make it mean. Okay, in other words, the story we make up about what they said, or the interpretation that we bring to it about what they said, that's what's really important, to separate those two out. That's what they said, and then there's what we have it make it mean. And those are two different things, okay? So stay with me here. I'm going to give you an example. If somebody said, for instance, I wouldn't have set the table this way. Okay, suppose there you are, you got the table set, and your mother-in-law says, I wouldn't have set the table this way. Now, that's what she said. What somebody could and probably would have that mean is that, oh, she doesn't respect me. She doesn't honor that this is my home. She never thinks anything I do is good enough for her son, right? On and on and on. It could be any of those things. Now, really though, the statement, I wouldn't have set the table this way, is a pretty simple statement that is just a statement about what she would have or wouldn't have done. And if you can keep it for what it is, just a statement, you keep separate everything you had it mean. And you'll notice that all of the upset, every bit of the upset is actually what we have made it mean, not what they actually said. How do you appreciate someone if you're mad at them? Why should we appreciate someone if we're mad at them? Why we choose to appreciate someone even if we're mad at them is because if we really look at the relationships, when we're satisfied in a relationship, is when we love who we're being. We put a lot of focus on how the other person is treating us. But you know what? Even if someone's not treating us well, if we love who we're being, we're actually pretty satisfied. The opposite is also true, isn't it? Which is that if somebody is being great with us, but then we're pretty cranky with them, then even them being great with us doesn't make a difference for us because we're still cranky. So to really take on, even when especially when you're mad at somebody, is to appreciate them and find something to appreciate about them at the very least. It's really simple. That them being there gives you an opportunity to be somebody that you love to be. It gives you an opportunity to be generous, or it gives you an opportunity to be loving. Even the ones that make you the maddest, those are the ones that give you the biggest opportunity to be somebody really great. If we really study relationships, one of the things you notice is that the whole point of other people like the opportunity of people, of being with people, is that without them there, we don't get to be somebody. And the quality of our life comes from who we get to be with people. So it's right there. So why appreciate somebody you're mad at is because you'll end up being really happy with yourself and therefore even happy with them, though your own empowerment about who you're choosing to be is within the circumstance. Like last week I had a client say to me, my husband's so controlling. How can I have a happy holiday if he's trying to control everything? Now there are two things here. And if you know that about your husband, if you know from holidays from the past that one of the things that really works is to go, ahead of the holidays, ask him everything that he wants so that you actually know what he wants and he has he gets a say about what's important to him before the holidays ever get there. So that he already knows that you're committed, that he gets what he wants. And then at the holiday itself, I kind of always have a theory called just flow with the wind, like the tree, blow in the wind, just go in the direction of the least resistance. The more you fight it, or the more you resist, probably the more controlling he's going to try to be, because he's going to be fighting back. If you really just keep looking for it, there's something that's important to him, something. People only try to be controlling because there's something really important to them, because they really care. And if you can just listen for and just try to hear what's really important to him, and then make sure that he gets it, or make sure that he knows that you're committed that he gets it, then guess what happens? He starts paying attention to what's important to you, and that you get that as well. Okay, so that's two things again. One, if at all possible before the holidays ever happen, sit down, talk about what's going to be important to each other at the holidays and what's going to be important to your husband, so that he knows in advance that you're really out to make sure he gets what he really wants, a great holiday. Then when the holiday is happening itself, just keep trying to hear when he's being controlling, what is important to him, and how can I make sure he knows that I'm committed, that he gets that. And then I promise, it really is amazing how much the other person starts wanting to make sure you get what you want to. Here's another question I've been asked. My mother-in-law doesn't make me feel welcome. I don't want to go. How do I survive that? One of the things there that I think that I wouldn't take it personally. If the mother-in-law is not making you feel welcome, I really would bet a lot of money that the mother-in-law is concerned about something that you don't even know she's concerned about. For instance, it may be that has nothing to do with you. Maybe she is concerned about how her house looks. Or maybe she's concerned about how her food is going to be. Or maybe she's concerned about everybody arriving on time, or how everybody's going to behave, or about, how she and her husband are getting along in front of you. There's such a number of things that it could be. And maybe your mother-in-law is concerned about getting older. There's a whole number of things that she could be concerned about that's not even related to the holidays. And when people are concerned about something, they often don't, they're not able to make another person feel welcome around them. One of the first things I do is to not take it personal, okay? And would, again, just have some compassion that probably that person is concerned about something, and give them some space to be concerned about it. They're not having an easy time being with you. The more you can just be at ease with them and make it safe for them to be with you, then the more they'll be able to be at ease with you. And guess what? Then you'll have the experience of being welcomed. I think we often underestimate the power of listening to people. When you really listen to people, they get really grateful for it. A lot of times we think what's important is what we say to other people. But I've found that is very important. What we say is very important. But we want to make sure that what we say is empowering others. Okay, forwarding the conversation. On the other side of it, there's listening to people and really listening to somebody. Now, I've always found people, I know for myself, if somebody really listens to me, I'm always so grateful afterwards. Truly. It's sometimes, especially if somebody is not making you feel welcome, there's something that they want to say, or there's something that they've got to say that if you could just listen to it, they would be grateful that you're there. And then again, you'd have the experience of being really welcomed. No matter what they're talking about, because sometimes they talk about something that doesn't seem important, or they could be talking about the weather, or sometimes they're upset and they're visibly upset. But whatever is going on right there, if they're talking about the weather, listen to that. If they're talking about how the dinner's going, listen to that. Really get them. Just listen to it. Be that vessel, that space that takes in the information and just being with it. No opinions, no nothing, just be with it. If they're talking about something they're upset about, listen to that. And when I say listen, I really do mean give them their attention. They know, ask them questions, right? They know you're listening. But even if it's just something, they just make a comment about the weather, just acknowledge that you heard them. People who really appreciate being acknowledged for the good that they are. Point out something that is good about what they're doing. Oh my God, I know you're being challenged, but you're doing a beautiful job. Acknowledging people for their better attributes or way of being in life actually helps them to connect to that side of themselves in the present moment. And that paves the way for them to move forward in extraordinary ways, allowing you to have an extraordinary and memorable experience and holiday with them. Now, if you like this episode, please show your support by subscribing, and also tick the bell for new notifications of new content that we will be providing you here. We do rely on your support to create this information, to create these videos and the content for you. We're here to help you master the manifestation process. And if you want more information about that, you can always visit us at getyourlifenow.com. And I will see you next week. So meanwhile, happy holidays. Keep creating magic and miracles. Leave us comments. We love them and we always respond to them. And until next time, thank you for watching.